What up, everybody? Welcome to Livin Like a G. It has been a minute. It really hasn't been that long, but it's been like 2 weeks. And I have been living my life. It's the summer. I'm trying to be by the water with my flippy floppies. I'm trying to be at the beach with my swimmies. I'm trying to take a break. I don't know if any of you guys follow my other podcasts where I teach people about music, but I was talking about how I've been through a really big burnout. Recently, I've just been busting my butt all of COVID. Everybody took a break during COVID, and I just decided to go in. And so the summer came, and I was like, okay, I'm still busting my butt, but I don't have anything to give. I just feel so spent. And so the last 2 weeks, I've just been creating so much content with so much people that I was like, I can't possibly bring myself down for not doing a podcast. But I am back. With a vengeance. And it's been a little crazy. Yeah, I had my birthday over the summer, and I don't want to talk about my age. I feel like age is a really weird thing for me because I'm in the pop music industry, and age is just oh, how old are you? Even every time I go to a label meeting, people ask me oh, and we really love your songs, but how old are you? Every single time. And I'm like, why does it matter? One time I lied, though. One time I lied and said, oh, I'm 22. And they're like, oh, really? That's so great. And then, of course, that's the label that's all over me and wanting to do stuff. And I'm not 22. A lot of people don't realize how old I am, which I'm not going to ever give it away. I mean, I don't really care at the end of the day. But the funny thing about age is other people seem to focus more about age than you on age. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but I always feel like I don't think anything about my age until someone in my family's like, why are you wearing a baggy t-shirt? And I'm like, because it's comfortable, it's swaggy, it's fun, whatever. And they're like, okay. And then they're the same age as me, but they've got 4 kids and been married for 7 years and all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I don't really think anything about it. Or your mom's like, ooh, you should go get a facial. You're getting some wrinkles. And you're like, what? And then next thing you know, you're in the mirror, am I getting wrinkles? Now all of a sudden I'm thinking about wrinkles all the time. It's just getting older is just, I feel just more other people focus about it than you do. And I'm like, I don't really focus on it. Lizzo made it at 31. She probably made it before that, but you know what I'm saying? The music industry is just a wild ride, and a lot of times people quit before their 30s. I mean, they quit in the artist realm. They may not necessarily quit in the songwriting realm, but in the artist realm, it's 30 hits, and all of a sudden people are just no, ain't gonna happen. And then you get the anomalies like Sia, who was 40. You're like, what in the world? 40 years old? That gives me hope. It gives me hope that somebody is, no, I'm just kidding. Watch me start focusing on her age and be like, wow, she's just really old. She really needs to go get a facial. Sia, you look great, okay? I know you put on the whole costume thing and all that stuff, but you look great. You should show people your face. But you got Sia that made it at 40. And then you have Lizzo that makes it at 31. And then you have, if you keep going back, you've got Phil Collins that made it in his 40s. You've got, I don't know, there's just a ton of people in the industry that made it at a lot older. And I think it's because you just stay the course and you just keep going. But all that to say is I was super burnt out, and I've kind of taken a break here. But the summer is so great. The summer is just, I mean, it's hot. And I'm definitely tan-er. I just spend my life in a dungeon. I spend my life indoors all day. And people are over here expecting my Italian heritage to show through when I'm never in the sun. Ever. I can get tan. As much as people don't think that I can tan. I actually can tan very well. I have that natural olive skin tone. But it's funny because people don't think I can tan. And I was actually out to dinner the other night with some friends, and we, it was a mixed group. Like, people, you didn't know everybody, right? Like, you're like, okay, I just met you for the first time, but I've got like my 2 friends that I know and whatever. And this girl was like pale white. Like, we're talking about Twilight series white, which I ain't got no problem with. My mom is stark white. My mom, if you saw my mom, you wouldn't think she's my mom. She's has red hair, white skin, freckles. Okay, total redhead. Entire life has been that way. I didn't end up that way. Obviously, I got more of my dad's features, but nonetheless, back to this girl. White as they come. Porcelain skin, geisha skin, white. And she is about to leave. She's at the end of the table. I'm at the other end of the table. I'm doing my thing, being my humorous self, I guess. And we're just talking about the industry and just laughing about different things. And then they're like, oh, we're about to leave. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So nice to meet you, whatever. She goes, oh, I had my glasses on and everything. She's like, oh, does anybody tell you you look like Billie Eilish? And I said, oh, yeah, I get that all the time. That's like a totally normal thing. She's like, yeah, it's just so nice to see like more pale artists be in the industry. And I was like, what? I can't believe somebody said that to me. And I literally looked at her like, yeah, like just like totally played it off like, oh my gosh, yeah, isn't it so great? We're just like really joining together and all this stuff. And she leaves and Lauren looks at me and is like, bro, I'm whiter than you. She didn't say anything to me. And I was like, what in the world just happened? Like, literally, what just happened? And I was just so shook. And that was the day I realized that I was white. No, I'm just kidding. I was like, lady, first of all, you are way lighter than me. I mean, way. I mean, I do use like, the second or third from whitest foundation. But that's fine. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to validate her stance. We're going to validate mine. I can get tan, people. I can get really tan. So I've been trying to do it. I've been hanging out by the pool and by the beach as much as I can. But it's like God or the motherland is against me because every time I try to go to the beach, it starts like having a storm. My birthday was in July, and I decided to go out to Oceanside with, it's kind of a thing that I do with my family all the time. We'll like go out to San Diego, my mom and I will spend the night there, and then the next day on my birthday, we'll link up with family and go to the beach or whatever. I'm like, this is going to be great. I wore my skimpy suit. This is going to be awesome. I'm going to get tan. I'm literally, at that point, I was so white that my tan lines were non-existent anymore. They weren't even there. Like, you're white when your bare butt looks the same as your back. Like, there's no difference in change in color. That's about the time that, hey, winter's past, you need to get a tan. So anyways, I go out there. I'm like, this is going to be awesome. We walk outside of our hotel. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a perfect day. At that point, I was in San Diego. I hadn't gone to Oceanside yet. So perfect day. I'm like, I am going to get tan. I'm going to take like the first 2 hours and not even wear sunscreen and just get that light fry and then put the sunscreen on. Anyways, so we get there. We're like 10 minutes out. I'm driving. I'm looking up and I'm like, those ain't no cumulus clouds. Those clouds got rain in them, or they got something in them, because something's about to happen. Ain't no sun out today, not a drop, not a angled piece of light through a cloud, nothing. There is nothing out today, and I am not getting tan. And I sat there in a hoodie. It was so cold. It was 65 degrees and it was breezing up a storm, and I was just like, everything is against me to get tan. But since then, I have had some moments where I've gotten to hang by the pool and gotten tan, and I'm going to get a lot tanner. I'm headed to Miami, so there is hope. for Gina to revive her ancestry and get a tan and show the people that I am actually Italian. I'm not only Irish, and I'm a few other things. But anyways, all that to be said, the podcast is back up and running. I do it usually every Wednesday at 5, but I'm actually going to switch it to every Friday at 5. I used to do Wednesday and Fridays, but I think Fridays are doing a little better. So I'm moving it to Fridays at 5. So just be aware of that. And I'll see you next week. Please like and subscribe as well. Okay, peace.